Hello and welcome to Thought Provoking Tech. I'm Zach and this is Tech Tips. In today's episode of Tech Tips, I'm going to be discussing virtual desktops inside of Windows 10. Windows 10 actually has a pretty good implementation of virtual desktops in a way that it isn't flawless, it isn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination. However, it is definitely usable and I find it quite useful in my daily life. I don't see a lot of people using it though, however, so that's kind of why I wanted to make this video. Hopefully raise awareness a little bit. Definitely find it useful for productivity, especially if you vary between different tasks throughout the day. I know I do. I'll go through a couple of different scenarios of what I kind of do and what I use it for. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so as you can see here, I'm actually capturing two desktops or two monitors to actually illustrate the power of what virtual desktops can present. So you can see, as you can see here in the main monitor that I'm capturing, I have a Microsoft Edge up with Thingiverse loaded up, and in the other monitor I have After Effects editing a video for my other channel, Printed. So for Printed, a lot of the times I'll have 3D models that I'll upload to Thingiverse and link those in the video description. So I might be doing two things at once. But say in those videos, I will sometimes include time lapses of the actual 3D printing process. So keeping that in mind, what I will sometimes do is while I have part of the design process, I might be editing the first part of the video, or I might have taken the design process and kind of compressed it from like a 30-minute clip down to the 3 minutes by just increasing the speed of it down like say 10%. So that it's not a long, huge video. It's actually just kind of, you get the gist of it, but you're not in there in real time watching the design process. So say I've done that, and I'm just waiting for the part to finish printing, so I can do the same thing for the actual 3D printing footage to finish out the video. So say I want to just blow off some steam. So I can actually make a new desktop by clicking right here and clicking on the task view. You would bring that up, and it'll actually show what every app in the apps that are running in each desktop monitor itself. So you can see I actually only have one app running in each monitor at this point in time. So I can actually go to the far right that you can see right here and click on new desktop. That'll actually spawn a completely new desktop. I can click on it and you can see that I have a blank desktop in both monitors. Click back on here and go to desktop 1 and you can see that things are exactly how I left it. So you can kind of get the very beginning gist of how useful this could be, especially if you're going to be switching through tasks throughout the day. You're working on something, you want to take a break and transition to something else. You can do that and leave your desktop exactly how you left it, so that when you're ready to jump back to the original task, you can do so without actually kind of losing your place and are having to reset up your monitors how you want them to set up. So let's say I'm going to go back to desktop 2. So you can actually do that by holding the control or Windows key down, control and left arrow, or right arrow to switch between the desktops. So these will switch between them in order that they show. They don't loop around, so I can hit the right key more than once, and it won't keep on looping around. But I can go right and go to 2, and I go back to left and hit 1. You can also use a shortcut to make a new desktop, so you don't have to use the task view button. You can hold Windows key, Control D, and create a new desktop. So now if I hit the task view, you actually see that there's 3 desktops now. And now I can just, let's load a window up in desktop 3. To illustrate, let's do desktop 2. Let's say I wanted to blow off a little bit of steam and play Halo Wars 2. So I'll load that up on, move that to the primary screen so you can kind of see it a little better. And I'll load a Halo Wars 2 up to play a quick multiplayer game, to take a break from video editing for a little bit and play. It looks like there's an update to download, but that's beside the point. So let's say I want to go back to my task view. So in the task view, you can see that in desktop 1, there is the thumbnail of the website with the Thingiverse website, and you see at desktop 2 you can actually see the thumbnail for Halo Wars 2. You can actually roll over these and see the app that is active in them in a larger view in the middle of your screen. So let's just demonstrate that with the Windows key, Control right arrow, and move to that desktop 3. You can go left arrow. I hit the control button again. Hit left arrow to jump all the way back to 1, 2, and 3. So just the right key. I'm going left key to go to 2, and then left key again to go to 1. So you can easily jump between these at a pretty rapid speed. So, like, say for instance, at work, I'll be working on a web page and might be editing that. Then what I normally do at the very basic is we use OneNote a lot at work. So I actually have one monitor set up with OneNote and another monitor set up on my email, and that's my desktop 1 for the most part. So desktop 2 will be the primary task I'm working on for the most part too. And so say I'm working on the web site. I will be having like a page that's just simply the text editor or the code editor running, and then I'll have like a preview running in a different browser. I'll test between them to make sure everything's going fine. And the other screen, or I might have a bunch of different folders open where the files for the web pages are, the files for images, and so on and so forth are all located. So then I'll have that set up. And say someone needs something done, like I'll do like the spec sheets at work too. So say someone needs a custom spec sheet for a customer. So then sometimes if it's a product that we plan on, marketing and selling again, we'll go ahead and do like a custom render sometimes. So then I might initiate another virtual desktop and load up Inventor and do a quick render for what the appearance of the custom part. And then I'll load that into the spec sheet inside of InDesign. And then I'll be able to jump right back to the desktop 2 and get back to work and coding. And then I can easily jump between 1 and 2 on a regular basis because my Outlook will always show a little pop-up regardless of what virtual desktop you're in. As long as you have OneNote running in general, it'll show a little pop-up when you have a new email. So I instantly know when I have a new email, and I can jump to that, and I already have that full screen. Now you could just have Alt-Tab and stuff like that, but it's very useful to just primarily when I'm like the web design and my task, I can leave that up exactly how it's running. So if I have to go do something or something comes up that needs to be done that's higher priority than what I'm primarily working on, I don't have to lose my train of thought. I can leave it exactly how it is and jump straight back to it without any issue at all. So you can kind of see that a little bit here with the my quick demo of the Halo Wars running here. But you can do a ton of other things. Certain programs don't like running multiple different instances of themselves across here. So for example, if I just click on here and go to After Effects, it's actually going to jump me back to the first window because After Effects is already running there, and it doesn't like opening another instance of After Effects. However, even like right clicking on it and clicking on it again, sometimes that'll let another instance open, but After Effects doesn't really like that. So it doesn't always work for everything, but there are a lot of apps that it will open a new instance of. So you just have to kind of play that by ear. So let's say, another instance of Adobe Edge, or sorry, Microsoft Edge. Microsoft Edge pretty much always will open a new instance. So you can go to YouTube, or let's just go to my Interstellar Innovations website. So we can go to Interstellar Innovations and let's load TPT for the Thought Provoking Tech website. So actually you can type thoughtprovokingtech.com, that works too. But you can see that I'm on the Thought Provoking Tech website now. So with that in mind, I still have my other Edge instance up, and it works just fine having multiple instances. So some apps will let you have multiple instances up. So another cool thing they can do is click on your task view now. So say I want to close down desktop 1, I'm done using it, but I do want to keep one of the programs I'm running in it and keep my progress in it, but I just want to condense that down to another desktop. You can actually take, in the task view, or in this view, you'll see that you can see all the apps that are running in it. So let's go ahead and actually just quickly spawn a couple other instances of Microsoft Edge just to show that there's multiple programs running here. So you can see that there's actually, there's technically 4. I don't know why one of them's blanked out right now. Or there's 5 instances of Microsoft Edge running here. You can actually click on one of them, and you'll see the taskbar at the desktops at the bottom. You'll see that they'll turn red, and you can actually move windows between your virtual desktops. So by doing that, you actually see that there's now only 4 here. I'll go ahead and close down those other ones that are irrelevant. And you can see that I just closed 2 of them, and now there's only one Thingiverse left. but I had moved the other one to desktop 2 now. So I can go ahead and move that down to the other monitor, and you can see I still have Halo Wars going here, downloading, and then I can browse the website and update it or whatever, what say you, and still keep an eye on Halo Wars 2 so I can see when it's done downloading. So it's pretty handy for a lot of different things, and you can move apps between it. So there's not a lot to really say. It's pretty easy, but it's actually pretty powerful. There are some flaws. For instance, it is not completely separate virtual desktops. It would be cool if Windows kind of broke it out a little more separate, so that certain apps that don't like opening another instance would open another instance. That would be something that's very handy, so you can actually edit on like a couple different videos. Now keep in mind that your computer, the apps inside of a virtual desktop that is not the active virtual desktop, the apps don't really hibernate or anything per se. So they're still going to be utilizing a lot of RAM. If it is something that's a CPU intensive thing such as rendering, it'll still be pounding your CPU or your GPU while you're in the other the virtual desktop. So it's not like something that's going to be hibernating in the background. It's still running full-fledged, which is definitely good for most use cases. But just keep that in mind that if you have 100 instances of Chrome, your RAM's going to be gone. Just keep that in mind. So you want plenty of RAM because you'll be multitasking a lot more with this capability. So also another thing to keep in mind is that with the certain apps not wanting to open in the another instance, some apps, this primarily only happens with Inventor in my use case, but sometimes Inventor will want to kind of grab control of what I'm trying to do. So if I'm trying to switch to another virtual desktop and Inventor is rendering or something, sometimes I'll click on another virtual desktop, but it'll spin me back to the virtual desktop that Inventor is running in for some reason. It doesn't do this all the time, but Inventor's rendering engine is entirely CPU dependent in their Inventor Studio. So I don't know if it's something to do with that, with the computer being maxed out. It kind of glitches out a little bit. But like I said, it's definitely not perfect, but it is quite powerful and very useful. So that's pretty much it for this episode, guys. I hope you found this episode both informative as well as interesting. Maybe you'll start using virtual desktops now, and if you do, let me know your use case in the description below, in the comments below. I'm definitely interested in hearing your thoughts and feedback. If you like this video, give it a big like. I definitely appreciate that, and it helps the video in general and the channel as a whole. Also, if you like this video, make sure you subscribe to stay tuned for more great content from Thought Provoking Tech. And until next time, Zach out.